angry, like around, like. Do you know what I mean?
Like, are they as good quality as the one?
Well, what they are is they're just basically a lens.
Yeah.
And then the wires, you know, like the camera I was using.
Yeah.
You've got to imagine the lens is there, and then all the computing, and then all the storage. These are nothing. These are just lenses, and then it goes straight into a big computer.
Oh, okay.
So they'll be stored digitally.
Yeah, sure.
You know, they're like surveillance cameras, but they'll be like really high quality.
So briefcase and large classroom, please. Thanks, Sam.
No problem. Woo!
But yeah, but like I said, in that fucking, on that chart, I was just like, what was like the second video or something. I was where it made it to look like the right bitch out there, definitely, 100%. But no, yeah, that.
The BB bitch.
To an extent, probably some of it's probably even true. So, but I don't know, I haven't seen what so many. I don't really care, to be honest. I genuinely don't care. Like, if someone does have a problem with me out there, whether they have been former housemates or public or whatever, I'm going to have to deal with that. I'm going to have to. Like, so, people... Look at yourself in the mirror. Yeah, as long as I've got...
Or how he spoke to
But this is what I'm saying, there's the two sides of it, isn't there? Do you know what I mean?
Oh.
So it's like, I see all the good side of it, and I want to be part of that, but then you see the other side, and it's like that with pretty much everyone, isn't there, you know?
But like when he what he said today to Rachel,
yeah.
"Are you selling your body for this?" He came down, he sat there, he said it at the table, and the majority of the table, I can count myself out of this, laughed at that comment.
Yeah, I certainly didn't laugh.
I know. Imagine that with your daughter.
Yeah, I know.
And you can't go around speaking,
I know.
saying I don't give a shit.
The
about
thing is, some of his
feelings.
opinions, but this is the funny thing, because some of his opinions I wholeheartedly agree with. I obviously didn't, connect with the first Rachel.
Yeah.
I did see areas of it which I didn't like. That's why I swapped her face on the board, and I thought, let the public decide. It could be very well be she's one of the favourites of the public. I said that in the diary room. Let them choose. But the thing is, although I probably got some of the same opinions as John, the way I go about it is different to him.
That's what I mean.
Do you know what I mean?
There's no
so, like, for me, I've got to
to
try and do things in love. I've got to try and do things in, with joy. And do you know, even if you're seeing something bad in someone, I try and deal with that in the right way. I fail all the time, but I don't want to fail.
No, you don't. I know you try to see the good in people. Like, the first time I connected with you was like within about the first or second day when I said, I'm not sure whether or not I believe in God, but like maybe one day you can read your Bibles and like we'll see. And you was like, nice one and stuff. And, like, give me a hug and I thought right away from that moment, he is such a nice guy, and I still think that now. I still think that now, but I think John airs his opinions the wrong way.
He does, yeah. That's why I call him the most forthright Australian, because that's what he's like.
Yeah.
He's very forthright in what he believes. Like, I can believe the same as him. A lot of the time, I do believe the same on him and lots of stuff, but it's how you, appropriate that.
There's no point in, it's all right for everyone to have beliefs and things like that, but to belittle, to be nasty, and, the majority of the time it's to women. He said, Rachel was nearly in tears today, and that he'd had Rachel in tears, Sunshine in tears, me in tears, the majority of the house of girls in tears. I would just expect, men at this day and age, 24-year-old grown man would actually give a shit about somebody's feelings. I find that really hard,
yeah, I understand.
To just be that nasty, because I know you would never be nasty like that to women. I would never be nasty like that to anyone. Man or woman, you just...
Yeah.
How can you not give a shit about somebody's feelings?
Yeah, I know.
You can't go through life like that.
Yeah.
You end up lonely on your own.
Well, the thing is, you're going to be out here in the next couple of days, and then you can hang out with whoever you want to hang out with. I mean, the Ben thing is really strange, because I was in there when he said what he said, and it wasn't nice. It was very, very nasty.
Yeah.
And I thought the same as John. The best thing to do is not say anything to Josie, because obviously Josie's insecure in some areas.
Yeah.
If John would have said to her, even after Ben went, or Ben said this, it would have been bad.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The only reason it was brought up today is because Ben brought it up in the flipping table.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Because he must have felt guilty about
it. He did feel guilty.
Yeah.
And he knows he made a mistake, and he knows that's the reason why he was voted out.
Yeah.
Because of that.
Yeah.
I love him. And then the thing is, Josie's then saying, well, Dave, you're like two-faced because you hang out with Ben. No, and he would be like that all the time. The thing was, like, I saw so much good in Ben, and I really connected with him.
Yeah.
Like, if the only way you can have a relationship with people is by them being perfect, then how is that ever going to work? I mean, everyone that I've got a relationship with is imperfect.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
you take the good, you connect with
Yeah.
them, you feel the connection there, you take the good, and then if it's stuff that you don't like, you spit out the bones. It's like
Yeah.
you just don't get involved in it. So I would go in the house with Ben. Sometimes he would want to gossip about people, talk about people. Sometimes if it was like issues that I had the same, I would talk to him about
Yeah.
them. But I wouldn't sit in there and slag people off
No,
with them all
no.
day. But I think maybe because Josie knows he'd said something about her, she probably then thought, oh, that's what me and him did in the hut all
Yeah.
the time. Me and him.
Yeah.
Slagging people off, being like, I wasn't
But
like
you
how it
didn't.
was at all. And I
Yeah.
used to say to Ben, don't be like that. Do you know what I mean? And the one day he said to me about, I don't want to bother with unintelligent and idiotic people. And I said, Ben, you can't be like that.
Yeah.
You just labelled a whole bunch of people.
Yeah.
And I would say this sort of stuff, you know what I mean? But then I think because she knew that Ben had, like, said something against her, she then jumped on the Sammy bandwagon and like, oh, Dave's two-faced, because I would be in the hut with him. But she
Yeah.
didn't hear the conversations in the hut. I would never be like that.
Yeah.
I mean, basically, what he said to her was more insulting than, like, what Sammy Pepper would say.
Yeah.
And me and John were both there. John had to walk out. John just walked out.
Yeah.
And he said to me, Dave, what did you always said? And I'll remind me, because I think I was like half asleep or something. And he told me, and I said, I did hear something, but I didn't realise what he was talking about. And then he said, how am I going to deal with it, Dave? And I said, well, you can't tell Josie.
Yeah.
Do you imagine
no.
he goes and
Yeah.
says to Josie?
No, yeah. It's just awful, isn't it, when you hear someone saying, like, bad things about you, and, you know, like she said, like, you know, I'm sure it were only one comment that he said, and he fully regrets it, and he wishes that he didn't say it now,
Yeah.
you know.
And it was only one comment. I mean, I never heard him, like, really insult people like that. He used to, you know, like, sometimes, like, bitch about people or whatever, but I never heard him, like, really insult. There's a couple of times
Yeah.
he said stuff, you know, like when, you know, you had, like, you know, Iffy and Shabby and Kiva together,
Yeah.
you know, he would say stuff. And I remember him saying once about Jovan, oh, he needs to be crushed, you know. He would say stuff like that. But I
Yeah.
thought a lot of it was funny. I didn't find it, like, really insulting, you know.
Yeah.
But it's difficult for me because, like, when I'm in the outside world,
Yeah.
I don't spend any time, like, gossiping or bitching or being any
Yeah.
of that. Like, but when you're in this environment and, like, some people are like a little bit like that, and you've got to live in the same house for, like, a long time,
Yeah.
you find yourself then, like, having to have conversations about stuff, and then you're trying not to be a certain way. Do you know what I mean? It's just
Yeah.
really awkward, isn't it? It's like, I know you would never ever want to, like, talk about John in any bad way, but the reality of it is, because of what's been going on, you then feel you've got to say something.
I don't.
Do you know what I mean? And but I know
But
that's
then
not who you are.
I
I
say
know
it
in the
to
outside
him.
world, you would bother with people, and you would be the most least bitchy, gossiping,
Yeah.
nasty person out there.
Oh, yeah.
But in
okay.
living in this environment where you're put under pressure and things are happening, you say things not because you want to be nasty or come over nasty, but just because that's reality. That's what's happening. Do you know what I mean?
You've got to stick up for yourself, but I'm at the point like, oh, I'm so glad it's Friday because it's just zapped my strength.
Yeah, I know.
It really has.
But you go in, I mean, like,
I just
two of
feel
us
like
would go
I've
in,
gone a lot
whether it's
quieter,
Friday.
a lot, whether it's because, like, I don't know, like, just a lot's changed.
You should be really encouraged, though, because, like, I thought Ben was dropping a bit of a hint, and what he said, Rachel said, you know, that, like, you know, Ben said something like, I thought he would either go to Josie or Corin.
Yeah,
I don't think
that's
he
it,
meant
that's
by,
within
like,
the house.
being nice in the house. I think he was dropping a hint.
No, I can imagine, like that's, you know, I got, like, second desperate twin on there, like, no way on earth did I even think I would have lasted this long. It's fantastic that I did. And, you know, like, obviously the public are watching, they're going to vote. The way I've carried on over my makeup and stuff like that, and the arguments I've had, the first thing I'll be doing is getting, you know, booed right out of here. But
No, I don't think so.
Either way, like, oh, I never ever thought I'd want to leave this house, but, like, on Friday, like, since that Scrooge task, it just started changing, because I think since then I felt like
The
everything
thing
was
is,
different.
this is what they wanted to do. Like, you know, it was great living in your, you know, like, pre-Sammy, if you like.
Yeah.
They put Sammy in here because they knew he would stir stuff up. It's great for the public, and I really don't mind a lot of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's whatever. I don't give a rip. You know what I mean?
But
But
I
it has
don't-
changed